excited that you've joined me today, Friday. I don't know where you're joining from, but please let me know in the comments. I'm Julia Campbell, and I help nonprofits build movements and create engaged communities using online tools and social media, which is what we're going to be talking about today. So, did you hear about Facebook? No, maybe you didn't. Yeah, I bet you did. So let me know if you heard about the new Facebook announcement that happened last week. That was pretty controversial, pretty big. That's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about the who, what, when, where, why of the announcement, and we're going to talk about how nonprofits can react or should react, and maybe a little bit about some tips and tricks, strategies of some things you can do just to, feel better, but also to still kick butt in the Facebook newsfeed, because it's getting harder and harder to do, as we know these days. So if you have a question, throw it in the comments. Kansas City, Missouri, Charlotte, North Carolina. Oh my gosh, I bet it's warmer than it is here. A nonprofit organic farm in Cohasset. Well, hey, I'm north of Boston, so welcome, Cohasset. What's good? What's on the organic farm today? What's happening there? I don't know. I don't know. I really don't eat as healthy as I should. So I don't know. What's the vegetable? What's the thing that's happening today that I should probably know about instead of eating cheese and crackers every night like I do? Okay. So the Facebook announcement, also called Facebook Zero by some people, the Facebook apocalypse. It's had many, many different terms. I've watched a lot of videos. I've read a lot of blog posts. People seem to have mixed reactions to it, actually. There seem to be some pros and cons to it. Ooh, frozen lettuce. Great. Thanks, Janice. Okay. So what exactly happened? So basically, Mark Zuckerberg, and I've got it here because I don't remember the date, on January 11th at 7:28 p.m., he got on Facebook and wrote this long kind of diatribe about how Facebook wants to kind of go back to its roots and encourage more meaningful interactions, quote unquote, between actual people, actual profiles. Because he's been hinting at it for a long time if you follow him or you've been following the Facebook blogs. So the week before, there had been that announcement from Facebook that they were going to demote pages that use engagement baiting in the newsfeed. So engagement baiting is everything we thought we were supposed to do on Facebook. Don't you love it when they change the rules up? It used to be you had to post a photo with a link because you couldn't post a link. And then it became, okay, links are better. And then this and that. I mean, it's really hard to keep up. So that's why I'm here. But they decided that they don't like those kinds of posts that ask for comments or ask for likes or shares. If you like cold weather, you like the winter, like this post, or share this, or comment, or tag a friend, or there's all sorts of different types of engagement baiting, and I talk about it on my blog, but they decided they don't like that anymore. So we have to stop doing that. Then it should not be a surprise to anybody that they want to go back to the way Facebook was originally designed. Okay, so that's the who and the what. So the why is a little more complicated. There's a lot of different reasons. They don't really tell you why they are doing anything. They don't have to. I mean, they're a private company or the public company, but they don't have to give us reasons for anything. Basically, they can just do whatever they want. They do have a responsibility, I think, because 2 billion people are on the platform. But the why is that in recent months, Facebook's own research has shown that people get depressed when they go on the site. So there have been many reports that have come out, and I'm sure you've read quite a few of them, that using social media, specifically Facebook, makes us all feel more depressed and makes us all feel more kind of crappy about our lives. And the reason for this that they are speculating is that there's so much mindless consuming of information. So you just go down your newsfeed, like I just did it today because I'm not a huge fan of Facebook anymore because of what it has become. So maybe it's a good thing for me, these changes, but it's become just a bunch of videos and photos and engagement bait kind of things, like this photo, tag this photo, and nothing that is particularly interesting or relevant, and it's just a complete mindless time waster. Mark Zuckerberg never intended it for it to be that way, and they don't want it to be that way. So that's why they're making these changes, these somewhat drastic changes. They do still want businesses and brands and nonprofits to be on the site because obviously they want our money for ads, but they also want to promote these meaningful interactions. Okay, so that's sort of a little bit about why they did it. They've also received flack, obviously, because of the promoting fake news, letting Russian spam bots kind of take over the site, and trolls are taking over a lot of the groups in the site, and they want to encourage more genuine, authentic, hopefully positive debate between real people and not just a bunch of spam and a bunch of links on the site. I have a feeling that it's also pressure from their stakeholders because all of these links go to other places. So you don't spend as much time on Facebook. You are constantly clicking away to go to other things. Or if someone posts a YouTube video, then you're spending time on YouTube, which obviously Facebook hates that. They want to keep you on the site. So the other thing that Mark Zuckerberg did say that I thought was very interesting was that he has a feeling that people are going to start spending less time on Facebook. And maybe that's a good thing. I mean, that's kind of mind-blowing that he would say that. So I encourage you to check out his post. I linked to it in my blog to read the whole thing. We do get some clues going forward, okay? So we have to adapt our strategy. This happens all the time. Twitter is now 240 characters. Instagram is doing so much more with Instagram stories. Snapchat's coming up. There's all of these other sites. We constantly have to shift our strategies and adjust. And that's just the life that we lead as social media managers. Doreen says, keep us on the site that is depressing us. The whole thing that he was trying to say, and actually I have his quote. Let me pull up his quote. That he was trying to say, we feel a responsibility to make sure our services aren't just fun to use, but are also good for people's well-being. And what happens is, I believe that what he's trying to say is people's well-being goes up when they have these quote unquote meaningful interactions with people rather than just mindless scrolling of headlines and news and videos and updates from people that don't get as many interactions. So that's, I feel like, what he was trying to say. And Amy made a really good point. Of course, being on something that is engineered to be addictive is also a depressant, of course. So we don't even know the implications of our social media use and our addiction to our smartphones yet. We are kind of the test subjects, right? But there have been quite a few academic studies now that say, it's now basically a scientific fact that the more time you spend on social media, the worse you feel about your life. That's kind of troubling. So we need to engineer social media as a force for good. What I have seen on Facebook is they're pushing fundraising on Facebook like crazy. I can't turn on my mobile app and log in on Facebook without it saying, Lauren is raising money for a cause. Check out her fundraiser. Or Patty is doing this. Or one of my friends is raising money for another cause. And then today, I didn't even mention anything about nonprofits or charities on my personal page. It invited me, it said, start a fundraiser for a nonprofit that you care about, for a cause that you care about. And then it listed all of my friends that have done Facebook fundraisers. So I think that they're trying to use Facebook as a force for good and use Facebook as a force for fundraising. And of course, Facebook fundraising is another whole topic, but I have seen that push, and I'm sure you have seen many more fundraisers from your friends and family on Facebook, because it's just the way, I don't know. So allegedly, what they said in their news update, their official news blog, was that they are not going to, this will not affect or demote fundraising posts. So that doesn't mean a post that says give us money. that means a post that is raising money via Facebook. They want everything done via Facebook, right? They don't want you to say, give us money and then send people to your website. Unfortunately, they want the fundraising to be done via Facebook. So it will remain to be seen, and I'm going to keep a very close eye on it, but I take a ton of screenshots. If you have noticed an uptick in fundraising on Facebook, especially after Giving Tuesday, now that they've waived the fees, let me know. And if you've had a great experience or a bad experience, let me know, because I want to write an entire case study about it. Okay, so what can you do to combat Facebook zero, Facebook apocalypse? Well, this happens all the time. We saw organic reach plummet in 2015. We saw it go up a little bit in 2016, and now it's going to probably plummet again. The key is just to stay the course and continue to engage your audience, your specific people. Don't worry about 10,000 Facebook followers. Don't worry if your reach goes down a little bit. I would say continue to be sharing the two types of content that I always talk about. Be a go-to resource for your audience and share impact stories, or stories of your staff, or stories of your volunteers and your board members. Share stories. That is going to promote those meaningful interactions. So we have to start thinking about, okay, now we can't just create content that's entertaining. We can't just create content that people are going to like. We have to create content that people are going to comment on, which is so much harder, as we know, because people are conditioned to just use Facebook for mindless scrolling. They are not conditioned anymore necessarily to use Facebook for meaningful interactions with other people, heaven forbid, right? So that remains to be seen how to do that. And I'm going to try to curate some examples of nonprofits that are doing that. So having an eye on thinking about being a little provocative, okay? Nonprofits, we might have to get out of our comfort zone here and stop posting incredibly boring photos and things that no one wants to comment on. We might have to inspire a little bit of debate, a little bit of conversation. It's just Facebook's world and we live in it, okay? That's the strategy that I would propose to you. And you've got to do what's right for your audience and your brand and your voice. The second thing I would say, and I've said it probably every single week for about a year now, you have to have some kind of live video strategy. I'm not saying post once a week. I try to do a live video once a week, but have some kind of strategy where you're doing a live video once in a while, because they basically said, Facebook itself in their official news announcement about this algorithm change, they indicated that Facebook Live would still be hugely promoted and pushed up in the newsfeed, because they said usually Facebook Live videos engender a lot of meaningful interaction from the attendees. So inspiring conversation, but also having some kind of strategy. It's not as scary as it sounds. I can help you with Facebook Live if you want. I have written a lot about it, but there needs to be some kind of strategy. It's 2018. Let's get on the ball. Number 3, and really the last thing, because I'm still trying to figure out exactly how to change our social media strategies, consider creating a Facebook group. So the Facebook group, it's important to know that Facebook groups are very different from pages. Groups are designed around a topic, and they are 100% designed for meaningful interaction. They're not necessarily a place where you can sort of push out all of your stuff and promote all of your events and everything that you're doing. You have to provide a lot of value to people in a group, and there has to be really good discussion, because if a member of a group is asking a question and no one's responding and it's kind of like crickets, then the group is not going to be very valuable. So groups need to be designed around specific topics. I just think that nonprofits, as I've always said this, have an advantage every single time there is a change like this. They have an advantage on social media, because we are not selling anything. We are selling changing the world. We are selling inspiration and aspiration and hope. We are not selling a t-shirt or a pair of shoes or something like that, where you have to be increasingly more creative and more cutthroat to get someone's attention. We are selling positivity. We're selling a meaningful life. If I give to your organization, that's going to help me define who I am and create a meaningful life. And Seth Godin said that the way you need to think about your audience on social media is creating a group of people that says, people like us do things like this. So if I say, I give to this cause, yeah, I'm part of that group. People like me, we do things like that. And we believe in this. And this is, what we stand for. These are our values. These are our ethics. So I completely think that nonprofits have an advantage when trying to entice meaningful interaction because we're doing meaningful work every day. So those are my thoughts. I like to only go 15 minutes, give you back the rest of your Friday. I do have a free email marketing masterclass coming up next Thursday. I'll post the link. Going to be all about growing your email list, how to create a new donor or a new email subscriber welcome series, kind of ways to just kind of double down on email in 2018 when it looks like social media is going to be even more unpredictable than we had thought. So I hope you check it out and sign up. I will post a link in the comments. Let me know if you have questions. And, Carol says, recently our boosted posts have gotten less paid reach and more organic reach. Could this be the cause? I don't know. And whenever they make an announcement, the newsfeed completely fluctuates and things get totally crazy. I think we're just going to have to see when the dust settles. But I do think just go the course, do what's working for you right now, continue boosting posts just to get that little edge and get that more reach. But I don't know. I really wish that I could be a fly on the wall and see what Zuck has said, see what Zuck is doing right now. Oh, okay. So Doreen says, which is a really good point. You also recommend we train our audience to use the See First option. Do you know if there's a limited number of See First pages per newsfeed? I follow 3 pages in my See First. I don't think there's a limited number, but obviously if you have 10, that defeats the point of See First. So I would encourage your most dedicated supporters and encourage people. And you know what? People are probably talking about, maybe they're not talking about the Facebook algorithm change unless they're in marketing, but they might have heard a little bit about it. And you could talk to your supporters and send them an email or do a Facebook Live video and say, hey, everybody, it's really important that we reach you. We're sharing lots of important work. We're sharing huge updates. If you could just add us to your See First. People did that when they did the Instagram change where everyone thought Instagram was going to completely implode because it stopped being chronological. It didn't implode. It's fine. Everything is fine now on Instagram. But I think we just have to wait a little bit for the dust to settle to see, what really happens. So thank you for coming today. I appreciate it. I like spending my Friday at noon with you. And let me know if you have any further questions. Otherwise, have a fantastic weekend wherever you are. And we'll talk next week. All right. Take care.